Hi, Rack. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing? You well?
Doing well indeed. So, we've got a few minutes together. I want to make sure it matters. Now, we've been hearing a lot about the critical need to put sustainability in the forefront of recovery business practices. So, the launch of your fund is really coming at a very perfect time. Can you tell us more about it? Where does it sit within this landscape? What do you aim to achieve? And how is your approach to real estate different?
For sure. So, look, nice to meet you all. Look, for sustainability, I think definitely it's becoming a critical part of the purpose for how people travel and beyond in terms of hospitality. So, our fund, which is basically hospitality based in Asia, is very much based around hospitality and acquiring assets in that space and then repositioning for sustainability and wellness, if you like, right? So, what we're very, very conscious of is the fact that when we actually do take on assets in Asia, we do make sure that actually the societal, the environmental impact of those assets is actually a positive one. And I think people increasingly are aware of that and want to be positioned for that. So that's basically the basis of the fund and the core of what we're doing within the fund.
And what do you aim to achieve, and how is it approached? Or how is your approach actually different from what others are doing?
Sure. So look, we're looking to basically deliver 15 to 25% IRR to our investors in a closed-ended private equity fund. We deliver that. I guess there's two parts to it. One is basically acquiring dislocated hospitality assets in Asia, and given obviously dislocation in Asia, that's going to be achievable. And then it's also about repositioning those assets for sustainability, for wellness travel going forward. And I think the difference for us is this, right? For a lot of real estate funds, where maybe sustainability and wellness is like an afterthought for the proposition. For us, it's actually a core part of what we do, and therefore, from the beginning, it's actually inherent in what we're doing in terms of our investment thesis.
So, talk to me more about that. When you say it's from the very beginning, you're guided by your choice of property. So, do you take into account a number of other sustainable factors when you're assessing an investment?
Absolutely. So basically, there are two parts of sustainability. The first part is actually how the building or property interacts with the community and how it also impacts with the environment, right? So what we do is we make sure that all the buildings we're involved in are green certified. So typically LEED certified or BREEAM certified, et cetera. So making sure that water recycling, energy efficiency, site orientation are part of what we're taking into account when we're actually developing or fitting the building. And then the second part of that is actually the societal impact. So in other words, actually how we connect with the community around the property. So that means local employment, supporting local businesses, local sourcing, and localization in general is kind of the societal community part of what we're doing.
So, this fund is obviously focusing on Asia, and
Yeah.
there's certainly no shortage of amazing resort properties and destination in our region. Why are you focusing on Asia Pacific only, and what markets do you see the most potential in?
Sure. Well, look, Asia for us is actually where we're based. It's part of our DNA, so we know the place incredibly well. The growth rates in Asia are clearly very strong. And if you look at United Nations type data, you're looking for the middle class in terms of consumption to double its consumption patterns over the next 10 years. And that's driven mostly by Asia. So Asia is becoming certainly more affluent, and we know that's one certainly macro trend which we want to be involved in. In addition, wellness typically in Asia is growing much faster as a tourism segment versus global. So Asian wellness is growing by double digit or more than double digit. And if you look at it versus, let's say, the globe, which is growing more like 5%, the growth rates here are faster. So the affluence is improving in Asia and increasing and accelerating. And wellness, I think, is a big proposition over here. And we obviously want to be at the center of that.
So, excite us. Tell us about some of the current pipeline developments that you have.
Sure. So look, the one we're working on now is in Sri Lanka. So basically, we have a Sri Lankan retreat, which we're building very, very close to the Gore Fort in Sri Lanka. So Gore Fort being a UNESCO protected site. It's on a hill. It's a very large property. It's 10 minutes from the beach, 10 minutes from the Gore Fort. Amazing views over the sunset, over the ocean, etc. And we're doing a very authentic local kind of wellness proposition in Sri Lanka. We're also looking at other properties in Vietnam, in Thailand, and Indonesia.
Great. And obviously, this is also a rally call to hotel brands and groups to partner with, correct?
Yeah, so from our perspective, we want to use best in brand and best in class brands and operators. So actually, yes, we're gonna take on the physical assets and launch that within a private equity type format, and then we're going to partner with the best in class brands available in each location.
So now, Rack, tell me about your own personal journey, because obviously coming to this, creating this particular fund at this point in your personal as well as professional life, there's a reason why you're here. So tell me about your personal journey and what led to this.
Sure. Well, look, my career has been always in investment banking. It's a long career in that place. And I wanted to, when I left investment banking, align my experience in both investment banking, so finance and real estate together, alongside our kind of long held family belief in sustainability and wellness, if you like, right? So bring all those kind of redefined purposes together into one proposition, which is what Alta is. And that's the fund, if you like. Yeah. So from a background perspective, mother, brother, myself, have always been involved in wellness back in the UK. We've always used alternative therapies rather than orthodox medicine to treat ailments, if you like. And so bringing it in together with the finance and real estate part is actually what we're about.
So before we leave this particular segment, I just wanted to give you, ask you a final question regarding the forecast for wellness tourism in Asia Pacific. You talked about it briefly. Given the current global economic climate, how long will it take for us to recover here in this particular region? What will it take?
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, you're right. From a macro perspective, certainly the economy is being sort of buffeted around between sort of pandemic outbreaks and kind of government stimulus on the downside. So it's been very volatile economically. Asia has done better. It's fared better in terms of more stability, in terms of growth. So Asia, I think, is certainly a better place to be. The wellness part of that and the wellness part of tourism is certainly growing faster. And I think what will happen is that post-COVID and post-pandemic, as people get more aware of mental health and physical health, I think that actually trend will accelerate, if anything, post the COVID time, if you like.
So in terms of, looking down, let's say 5 to 10 years time through the lens of what we're coming out of with the pandemic, what does wellness tourism look like for Asia going
Yeah.
forward?
I think it's a combination of both traditional, because obviously there's a lot of very, very deep roots in Asia regarding wellness, and also modern. So, using modern techniques to basically ascertain or monitor people's medical status, and then using kind of authentic wellness to help people treat or whatever those ailments happen to be. It's that combination, if you like, of modern traditional, I think, is the way that things will go. And remember, wellness obviously originated in Asia. And I think certainly people feel like they get a better or more authentic experience when they come to Asia and visit. And that's part of what we're doing.
Now, listen, it is a time of enormous upheaval for everyone. That is an understatement. How do you personally stay well? What are some of the tips that you can give our listeners?
Sure. Look, from a personal perspective, I think certainly the mental and physical part of how you conduct your life is super important. And so for me, that's about doing yoga on a regular basis, meditating every morning, using the gym. As you know, in Hong Kong, we have amazing hiking in Hong Kong. So hiking is always great and good for the soul.
Sure.
But also because we can't travel as much, and therefore we can't see friends and family who are in long distances that much as well. So being close to people locally, I think is quite important as well. So that kind of people connectivity, at least at the local level, while you can't see your family overseas, I think is an important part of being well as well.
Great. Thank you for your time today, and wishing you much luck with the launch of this fund.
Fantastic. All the best to you as well. Thank you very
Take
much.
care. Bye-bye.